Oh, it's a windy one. Quite stormy still, so I'm just out here looking for somewhere to camp. Just by the beach, just by the ocean. But it is windy. It's much colder than expected. I'll have to bring you back once I get the tent up, because I just need to get out of this wind. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm just out for quite a stormy camp here on the beach, just on the coastline in southeast Ireland. Finally got the Phoxx 2 up, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a lumpet tonight. It seems very sturdy already. I tell you what though, that wind's no joke. It's actually much colder than expected, and I brought a 2-season sleeping bag with me, the 2-season summer jungle army bag. And my theory is I'm just going to go to bed in clothes this time, and so I might get away with a lighter sleeping bag, because at the end of the day I'm already bringing these layers just in case. So that is the plan. First of all, it's cold, it's windy, I am really hungry, so let's do something about that. I got all sorts of food. I even brought a saucepan so I don't have to get my main one dirty. Use this for boiling water. It's not a very big space to cook in, but it's all I got. I think it should work. I also have a smaller gas canister, so at least it will be lower to the ground. I think I'm gonna go with this, guys. American style mac and cheese. Got them in B&M. Also using the fire maple kit today. I think that's the G2 pot. It's the slightly larger one, the 700ml. It's just wider so you can fit this inside and stuff. I've got my Swedish folding cup, one of the little fire maple stoves. They must have about 20 different stoves that all fit onto this pot. Real nice setup. There's a lightweight lid. But for dinner I think I'm going to use this cheap camping saucepan. As you can see, I've not even used it before. I've used the frying pan and it's pretty good, so I brought this along just so I could keep this clean for my coffee. And I've got this little volcano light here. Hold it in for the light. There we go. I think the dimmest option will do. It's a nice little size of a light for a small tent like this. So that's the plan. I think it's time to cook, and yeah, still pretty windy. It's going to be windy all night. The wind speed is around 55 kilometers an hour at least. What's that in miles an hour? I guess it's a steady 30 or more, but because I'm on the exposed coastline, I'll always get the worst of it. As you can see, it's not really ideal to cook in the vestibule of this tent, but it's just too windy outside. I think I'll get away with it. I'm really happy I brought the plastic feet. It just makes any sort of ground stable. So pretty confident to use a saucepan on such a small stove. As you can see, there's not much room, but needs must, needs must. I've decided to keep the flame small. I was feeling the heat coming straight up. This is probably not my wisest idea. I'm not a big fan of cheesy pasta, but I just had a little taste of it on my finger and I could taste the bacon. So I'm actually quite excited for this. I got a baguette to dip inside it as well, so carbs upon carbs tonight. Just holding the tent up here just in case. Get some grass. It just smells so good, so good. I'm so hungry as well. I'm going to demolish this. First of all, something like this should be on a long time cooking, on a low heat, long time cooking. Not really the ideal camping meal. I could imagine using this tent, you know, somebody using this tent on a mountain in a storm, which is what they do. It's not so bad when you only have to boil water for a dehydrated meal. Maybe I just need to reconsider my meal choices when using this tent. I'm just getting a nice wee simmer, so it's working out better than I thought it would. I'm definitely able to turn the stove down nice and low. It's looking real good now. I had to pour a little bit of water out. What I will say is that the whole inside of the fly sheet is soaking wet. So I think I'm going to try and let that dry out before I make a coffee and add more steam to it. So, got this big baguette here. As I said, it's going to be loads of carbs tonight. It's actually really good. I don't really like cheesy pasta, but having the bacon on it just makes it feel like an actual meal. Oh, I am stuffed. That was way too much. I've got some of these dehydrated wet wipes. So you take them out, add a few dribbles of water, and then it just makes life easy to clean things like this. Clean your hands, whatever. Also got my own rubbish bag going. As you can see, I didn't finish the baguette. Just way too much. Kind of fancy something sweet now, so let's clean this and then make some coffee. And look at that. It's practically perfect. I got this here. Microfiber cloth, and I wrap this around the gas and keep it inside the pot. Stops it from rattling. Also great to dry the inside of the tent if there happens to be real bad condensation, or to dry saucepans and pots. As you can see, guys, there's enough room, really, you know, there really is enough room. Obviously, if it wasn't so windy, this would be sitting out like this, and it wouldn't really be any sort of a problem. If it wasn't windy as well, I could just undo the door and roll it up. So, not so bad so far. Just going for the usual. I've got these 3-in-1 coffees. NY coffee. I'm a sucker for habit, it seems. Speaking of habit, I'm actually camping in a different place. So it's about 15 feet, 20 feet away from where I usually camp, and I've got this big crazy looking bush right here. So when it gets too loud in the middle of the night, it's going to be that thing flapping. So fingers crossed the wind does die down, but it doesn't look like it will. In fact, the reason I came today was because the wind is much worse tomorrow, so yeah, it could get interesting during the night. Of course, because there's not much room outside in the vestibule, I'm going to use the lid of this pot, and then I'm going to bring the hot water and set it on this so I can protect the tent. Just about there. Look what I got to go with it. You can't tell me that's not perfection right there. I'm going to be as sick as a fool before this night is out. I was just looking up the weather forecast. There's no warnings today, but there does seem to be a yellow rain warning for tomorrow, so if I'm camping tomorrow night again, which I'm hoping to, it could be a different story. But so the only warning that there is at the minute is for small boats around the coast. It's basically sustained winds of around 31 miles per hour. So as you can see, I'm on the coast, so I get them sustained winds at 31 miles an hour as well. But it is supposed to get a bit worse during the night. Other than that, how is everyone? Anything new? What's going on? So I'm using this volcano pump by QU Nature. It's a great little piece of kit. The sleeping pad is insanely big. There's such a nice ambient light off this pump. I can't believe I haven't had one before now. So yeah, I've just got the lightweight army sleeping bag, which is pretty much a summer bag, and it's winter. So it doesn't make a wide pile of sense, but I figured thick tracksuit bottoms, jacket, fleece, all that. I'm bringing these clothes anyway, so the light sleeping bag should do. The last time at -2, -3 degrees Celsius, I was taking clothes off because the medium weight bag was just way too warm. It's also like 700 grams more and twice as bulky. So yeah, I think I made a good call. I'm using the One Tigris camping mat. It is insulated to 3 seasons. Now, when people think of 4-season mats, they start to panic if they don't have one. The reality is you don't really need a 4-season mat unless you're going to be camping at -degrees. That's my opinion anyway, because I've always been plenty warm with a 3-season mat. The R value in this is only about 3.5, and it was pretty toasty the last day, with the only exception being that I took the wrong sleeping bag. So yeah, £22 sleeping mat, £56 tent, and a sleeping bag that you can pick up for about 20 quid. Essentially 100 quid for all the basics tonight, so that is what you call a bargain. And it's not just cheap, it's very, very functional as well. There's a reason this is the most popular tent in the UK. One is the price, and second is completely waterproof, stormproof, ideal colour, nice green, low profile tent. And now they've got this big sleeping pad set up. I realise I've got about, at most, 20 plus inches to have all my stuff beside me. Like, I've just got this nice little space right here, you know. Nalgene bottle in my shoe. It's a nice amount of space. I got my rubbish bag, there's my pillow, backpack. It genuinely is a nice size for one person. So yeah, not much else to say other than that. I'm gonna blow my pillow up here and chill out. What else is there to do really? The wind is really picking up, guys. I think I'm gonna go out and try and re-peg the tent and see if that helps. So far, a hell of a lot of wind is getting in under the fly sheet. Now I know the ground isn't perfectly even and there's probably some big gaps to either end, but there's only so much I can do with that. But yeah, the wind is definitely picking up. The big hedge that's in front, the big bush, it sounds like a plastic bag blowing in the wind. I am tucked away quite nicely, but on this beach front there is just nowhere that is sheltered, not completely at all. Just got back, filled my water bottle up. I was talking to an old Irish guy walking his whippets, or his greyhounds. One of them came running towards me and I swear it took me a good few seconds to realise it was actually a dog. So yeah, I just checked the weather forecast, so the daily highest wind is around 49 miles an hour and the temperature is around 3 or 4 degrees, so of course it's quite a bit colder than the forecast had given previously. But isn't that always the way? I'm in half a mind to use this Nalgene bottle and do myself a hot water bottle. Not that I'm overly cold, but it's just nice to have it. And I also closed the air vent at the bottom of the tent, so it is definitely warmer. I was wondering why my feet were so cold in the sleeping bag, and that's because of this low profile of the tent. That air vent is just right above my feet, just blowing in the wind, and the wind is coming from that direction, so it's all good. Anyways, I'm going to have some biscuits and maybe a warm drink, and then I'm going to call it a night. So I've got a bit of a disaster here, guys. My sleeping pad is deflating as I speak. My hip was on the ground and my elbow. I was thinking the hip was getting a bit cold. I thought that was odd, like, because I know it should be warm enough. I used it once before. But yeah, buy cheap, buy twice, or buy cheap and buy 15 times maybe. I think from now on I go back to using a self-inflating mat, because as bulky as they are just about as reliable as the sunrise in the morning. So I'm going to use a little pump and blow this up again, and then I'm going to try and get some sleep. And if I have to wake up in the middle of the night to do that again, then so be it. Needs must, eh? Well guys, hopefully that's a false alarm. I think I may have hit the wee stopper, the wee plastic bit, with my arm or something when I was lying in bed for a bit here. So I've pumped it up again and I've flipped it over so I can't touch the opening again. So hopefully that there sorts it out. It is currently 11 PM. I think it's time for a pee and then I'm going to go to sleep. Let's see what it looks like outside. The wind is relentless. It's actually got worse, so thank God this Phoxx tent, this Phoxx 2v2 tent is an absolute unit of a tent, because it's just not budging whatsoever, and there's a reason it's so popular. Well guys, slept in again. So I'm going to travel a bit later today. We'll get a train at 1 o'clock. Might as well enjoy some more sleep. Tell you what, it's a bit colder now. It started raining at 5 in the morning. Started raining. So that woke me up. Also my throat is killing me now. It might be the cold air. I don't know. Very glad this tent is held up. There doesn't seem to be any pegs out of place whatsoever. Otherwise I'd know about it. Got a chocolate croissant for breakfast, and then I think I'll do some noodles soon. Just want to warm myself up a bit. It's colder this morning than it was last night, believe it or not. Guys, I still haven't got up and went for a pee yet. Can you blame me? I think it started raining at 4 or 5 in the morning and it hasn't really stopped. And there's actually yellow rain warnings today for parts of Ireland and tomorrow. So yeah, fun times guys, fun times. Pretty impressed with this camping mat. Obviously I had that problem where I thought it was going down, but I must have hit it with my elbow, the little plastic cap. So I filled it up and flipped it over so the cap is on the ground, and there's been no problem since. So happy days, really glad about that. Cheers everyone. Oh, that's hot. I realised by the time I leave today, I'll have been in this tent for 18 hours. And this Storm Chandra, or whatever it's called, hasn't quite passed on yet. The worst of it's over, but this is going to linger on for a few days, I doubt. So yeah, I kind of miss having the bigger tent with me. I can sit up in this, but only in one spot here, where the tent is highest. And I am a bit cramped, so I'm starting to feel it a bit on my neck and my shoulder. I didn't realise how much I sat up in the tent when I'm staying out for a full day or two. So yeah, great little tent and it's done its job, but I just don't know if it's for me. I've only been out briefly for about 20 minutes. Yeah, gonna make something to eat real soon. Get the belly filled up before I leave. And yeah, I'm looking a bit puffy. I always see it in my eyes whenever I haven't had much sleep, so I know I only maybe got 2 or 3 hours of quality sleep. And as you can see, tent's going a bit crazy still. It's actually got a temperature of around 3 degrees at the minute, so it's about 5 degrees colder than I expected it to be. It's funny how the weather forecast is never quite right, is it? If you watch this far, subscribe to the channel, and don't worry, there's going to be plenty of more videos coming up real soon. It's not easy guys, I just lost most of my noodles. I'm sure some dog will have it consumed as soon as I leave. It's blowing out so much steam into the tent. Any minute now.